Many years ago, a man named Henry lost his wife that he loved dearly. She died suddenly due to a serious illness. Since then, Henry regularly visited the grave of his beloved wife. He never gave up hope that she was still around somewhere, even though he knew he could never hold her again. Welcome to our channel. Sign up for the best stories. Leave your like and comment what you liked about the story. Henry had been a lonely man since his wife's death, but he found comfort in regular visits to the cemetery. He always brought flowers and some food for the picnic he used to have there. He used to sit and talk with his wife, sharing stories of his day and the things he had done since his last visit. He never expected an answer, but he knew that, somehow, she was there listening to him. One afternoon, as he was walking along the cemetery path towards his wife's grave, Henry noticed something strange. He saw his wife standing in the doorway of the cemetery, looking at him. He rubbed his eyes and looked again, but it was still there. It was like she was waiting for him. Henry was shocked. He never believed in ghosts or an afterlife, but there was no doubt that it was his wife. She was wearing the same dress he had last seen her in, and her smile was unmistakable. Henry walked towards her, shaking with emotion, not believing what he was seeing. "Mary? Mary?" he asked, his voice shaking. "Is it you?" His wife's figure smiled and nodded. "Yes, Henry, it's me. I've been waiting for you." Henry was speechless. He never thought he'd see his wife again, let alone in such a strange place. He looked around and noticed that the cemetery was eerily silent. There was no sound except the wind blowing gently through the trees. "What's going on here?" he asked, still not believing what he was seeing. His wife smiled again. I just wanted to see you, my love. I wanted you to know that I'm fine and that I'm still with you, even if you can't see me." Henry walked over to her and hugged her tightly. It was like hugging a ghost, but he didn't care. He was happy to be near her again, even if it was just for a moment. "I miss you, Mary," he whispered in her ear. "I miss you every day." "I miss you too, Henry," she replied. "But I want you to know that I'm still here, somehow. I'm always with you." Henry and Mary talked for a while, reminiscing about the good times they had together. He told her about the things he had done since she left, and she encouraged him to continue living life to the fullest. After some time talking, Henry realized it was time to leave. He knew that his wife could not accompany him beyond that place. He said goodbye to her with a kiss on the forehead and a tight hug, promising that he would come back to visit her again. As he walked the path back home, Henry felt a strange sensation in his heart. He couldn't explain what had happened at the cemetery, but he felt that something had changed. He wasn't alone anymore. He had the feeling that his wife was still with him somehow. The days that followed were filled with a new sense of joy. Henry felt renewed, as if he had been given a new chance at life. He began to explore the world in a way he never had before, visiting places he and his wife had never had the chance to see together. Still, Henry continued to visit his wife's grave regularly. Though he knew she wasn't physically there, he felt her presence in every petal of the flowers he left on her grave. He was still talking to her, although he couldn't see her. He knew she was listening and smiling at him. Years passed and Henry grew older, but he never forgot what had happened that day in the cemetery. He knew his wife was still with him, even if he couldn't see her. He felt his presence every day, in every happy moment and in every difficult moment. And when the time came for Henry to depart this world, he knew his wife was waiting for him, smiling and waving at him from heaven's door.